partner Jack. Together they stand proud over the local landscape. But where am I?
Today, a couple who crave quiet in the countryside, away from the noise of next door. At one of our properties, the neighbours are the least of our worries.
We're not really great fans of brick. There's going to be a lot of vacuuming I'll have to do.
But at another house, we get it right.
Oh, this is lovely.
I think this has got almost everything we want.
Today we're in West Sussex and I'm in the village of Clayton in the heart of the South Downs National Park. The village's two windmills are thought to have been named Jack and Jill by day trippers to Brighton in the 1920s. Today, only Jill here is a working mill, lovingly cared for by a group of dedicated volunteers who've been meeting here every Saturday since 1978. Thanks to their hard work, Jill has been fully restored and occasionally, when the wind blows, is used to grind locally grown wheat to make wholemeal flour, providing us with just a taste of what this county has to offer.
West Sussex lies in the heart of the southeast, tucked in between the English Channel and the counties of Hampshire, Surrey and East Sussex. Despite being just a short hop from the capital, parts of the county feel like a step back in time, with historic architectural delights and quiet country lanes aplenty. In the east, the rolling hills of the Weald, once an ancient forest, are interrupted by the Ouse Valley Viaduct, one of the country's finest, an imposing example of Victorian engineering. Stretching across the county from east to west is the South Downs National Park, which became a protected area in 2011. These chalk hills are considered one of the most important rural landscapes in southern England. Nearby, the charming market town of Arundel boasts a beautifully preserved castle which dates back to the 11th century. Today, it makes an impressive sight, towering above the banks of the River Arun. With its easy access to both the coast and capital, West Sussex is a much sought-after county for those after a not too remote slice of rural England.
But property buyers beware. With its proximity to the capital and unspoilt countryside, houses in West Sussex don't come cheap. In fact, the average price of a detached property here is about 45% more than the national average and would cost you around £400,000. Commuter territory always comes at a premium, but prices are more reasonable the further south you go, away from the capital, apart from the coast, of course. So what are today's buyers hoping to find in this beautiful county? Well, let's meet them and find out.
Ben and Kim have been married for almost 40 years and live in the Surrey town of Hawley. For the last 2 decades, the family home has been this 4-bedroom detached house. But with 2 grown-up children having flown the nest, they're not only looking to downsize, but to find a quieter setting away from the town Ben has lived in most of his life.
And I've lived here for probably about 50 years now. When I moved here, it was fantastic. It was like countryside. We used to go over to the river where there's lots of fields. It was great fun.
It was a village, wasn't it?
It was a little village, yeah.
Now, there's a lot more housing, but they haven't sort of improved the town to cope with it, really. And the roads got very busy now. We like peace and quiet.
Ben has worked in IT for 40 years and Kim is a school secretary. They're not giving up their jobs or their friends, so they've set their sights south on the neighbouring county of West Sussex.
We'd really like to move to West Sussex. We've got friends in that area.
We would really like to be kind of within 25 miles radius of Horsham, because then we could carry on visiting our friends. We do see them quite a lot, you know, they come over for dinner, and if we're too far away, they take that away from us, you know. We really do enjoy that type of thing.
As well as entertaining, Ben and Kim hope to add to the family.
What draws us really to the country life is the peace and quiet, and the fact that, you know, when Kim gets her dog, finally gets her dog, which I promised her when we move, she'll just be able to walk out the house, down the country lane, there won't be traffic, you know, zooming past us all the time, be able to let it off the lead and off it'll go.
When they're not walking their new dog, Ben wants to hit the West Sussex roads in his classic car.
The MG Midget that I've got in the garage, Kim and I bought that in 1979, and all through our married life she's been saying, we've got to sell that car to pay for something, but somehow I've managed to hang on to it, and when we get into the countryside I'm going to get it back on the road, drive it out to the little country pub, with the hood down. I might even take Kim with me as well if she's lucky.
But it sounds like Kim will be more than occupied with her new garden.
We'd like to have a smaller garden, not too small because I do enjoy gardening and I get very carried away at the garden centre buying plants and shrubs and trees, but something that would be a bit easier to manage, hopefully with room for a small greenhouse.
And after a busy day outside, what better way to relax than in front of the fire?
I don't know why, I've always loved wood burners and everything that goes with them. It'd be really, really cold and we'll light up the wood burner and get in front of it, nice glass of red wine or white wine, Kim prefers, and get some music on and just, you know, you just can't beat it.
We really want to be able to either have a wood burner in the new house or certainly be able to put one in if possible.
But although our buyers clearly yearn for rural rapture, the sociable couple have some fears about being too cut off from the rest of the world.
I think our main concern if we move too far was we'd be moving away from our friends.
We know we've got to do it, we've got to get away, but you know, when you're so familiar with something, it's just going to be, it is going to be a big shock, but we desperately want to do it. You know, if we don't do it now, Kim keeps saying to me, well, why don't we wait until we go into an old people's home? I say, no, that will be after this move, so we've got to do it now.
Ben and Kim want us to concentrate our property search within a 25-mile radius of Horsham, so Kim can continue working, and so they're not too far from their friends in Surrey. I'm meeting up with our buyers in West Sussex to find out more about their planned move.
Ben and Kim, lovely to meet you both.
Okay.
Now this is why you want to move to West Sussex, isn't it? The peace and quiet.
It is indeed, it's just amazing here, isn't it?
You've both lived in Surrey for most of your lives, so are you ready for the change?
It's going to be quite a change because we have lived in Surrey for, well, 50 years and we'll be starting again, really, it'll be a new life.
Tell us about the house that you're looking for.
Well, ideally 3 bedrooms, we're downsizing a bit. Kim would like an ensuite, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't mind about the style or the age particularly, probably not too old.
No, we don't want a project.
No.
No.
So something fairly ready to move into?
Yes.
Yes,
Nice.
yes. And modern would be great, wouldn't it?
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
because I do a lot of work around the house, a lot of central heating stuff, electrics, but, you know, I'd like to put that behind me and have it all done for me, really.
Anything else that's really important for you both?
Ben would like a wood burner or be able to put one in.
Got to have a wood burner, yes. Yeah,
So if
that's
it doesn't
a
have one
passion
in, you'll
Well,
be doing that job,
I'd
wouldn't you?
I would be doing that job, that's fine, yeah, it would be good, yes. And really it does need to have broadband as well, because I'm into computers quite a bit, and I don't want to be cut off from the internet.
Most places nowadays, actually, you can check
Yeah.
with companies.
Yeah, and you can always get satellite
Yes.
put in now,
Yeah.
yes.
What are the big no-nos for you?
Neighbours is a really, really big no-no. We want to be somewhere where whatever the neighbours do, they're not going to affect us, and whatever we do, we won't affect them. We spend a lot of time in the garden, you know, sunbathing.
Gardening.
And gardening, Kim spends a lot of
Sitting
time
out there with a
gardening.
glass of wine.
Yeah, a glass of wine, got a chimney outside, wood burner indoors.
So you must have a nice garden with this
Yes.
property.
Yeah. Size doesn't matter too much because at the moment we've got a big garden and we'd like to get something smaller, but we don't mind if it's got fields around it, something like that.
Yeah, a view would be fantastic.
Or a
wouldn't it?
garden that's maybe got a little area that's more cultivated with grass and shrubs and things around that doesn't need too much work.
Remind us of your budget.
The budget is 625,000.
Okay. Now, in most parts of the country, that would be a fantastic budget, but you know how popular
We
West
do.
Sussex
Yes,
is, don't
we do
you?
know, yes.
So it might be difficult to get absolutely everything.
With its cottages and village greens, there's something of an old England feel about Sussex, and carving its way through the landscape here is another reminder of a bygone era. The Bluebell Line is the UK's first preserved standard gauge heritage steam railway, which reopened part of the old Lewes to East Grinstead track in 1960. Since then, it's developed into one of the largest tourist attractions in Sussex, mainly run by a dedicated team of volunteers. And I'm hopping on to meet one of the longest serving, Mick Blackburn.
Hi, Mick.
Hi, Sonali.
Nice to meet you.
to meet you.
So, Mick, tell us how the Bluebell Railway came about.
It was opened in 1882, and well, the London, Brighton, South Coast Railway, but it closed in 1958. And a group of students, 4 students, thought we don't want this to close. So in 1959, they formed the Bluebell Road Preservation Society, and the line reopened again in August 1960.
So really, it's here because of a group of train enthusiasts.
It was four students, train enthusiasts. It really didn't want to see it closed.
And when did you start volunteering?
I came here in 1960 when I was a schoolboy, I couldn't afford the 5 shillings to join. I was here on opening day, I helped on the station, I helped in the car park. In March 1961 I managed to find 5 shillings and I joined the railway. There was myself and 4 friends from school.
Wow.
And myself and one of the friends is still here.
And you've been coming every week since, yeah?
Well, not every week, when I can, yes.
When you can.
When I can, yeah.
It's quite a sweet name, the Bluebell.
Yeah.
Why is it called the Bluebell Railway?
It's called the Bluebell. The press really dubbed it the Bluebell Railway before it closed, because there used to be lots of bluebells, and still is, along the line side. And they used to say that trains ran so slow that you could get out and pick them and get back in again, which of course wasn't true. And that's how the Bluebell Railway got its name.
Mick has worked his way up the food chain to driving trains on the Bluebell line. The Society has 7 working steam engines and runs a daily service from March through to October. But old engines need some TLC to keep them going, and that's where the maintenance team based at Sheffield Park step in. I'm meeting engineer Andy Sabin, who's currently warming up a restored 323 engine, which was built in 1910.
So what are we going to do here?
What we're going to do, we're going to give it a warming up fire.
Okay.
This is because the engine's out tomorrow.
Okay.
We need to be kind to the boiler. So we're going to put some warmth in it, and it won't stress the boiler so much.
Just boiler maintenance, basically.
Boiler maintenance
is
good care. So the first thing, most important thing we need to do is just make sure that we've got water in the boiler.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is, if I give you this stick,
okay,
right, we need a rag, and that's covered in paraffin. You can probably smell that, can you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? Lighter.
Essential tool.
Essential.
Okay.
What we're going to do is, you light the rag and you'll throw it in on the wood in there. Can you see the wood?
Yeah.
Right. There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
You see the fire in there burning? We will add coal to it now.
Okay.
When we add coal to it, the coal will burn through, and it will take a few hours. And then overnight, it will just sit there by itself. It won't create any steam. And that'll be it, ready for them in the morning.
But engines are only half the story. Old rolling stock also needs to be maintained, but more importantly, protected from the elements. The Society is hoping to raise money to put the most at-risk carriages under shelter at their depot in Horsted Canes.
Where did you get all your carriages from?
Well, various places, British Railways, people's seaside bungalows, all that sort of thing. People used to buy them, put a roof over and live in them. Yes.
Oh, wow. You've got so many here, though. How many have you got?
So many. I haven't counted for a long time. Probably 50 or 60, something like that. All awaiting restoration.
So lots of restoration.
It's a lot of restoration, a lot of work, yeah. At the moment we have an appeal out to try and get some of these carriages, at least 20 of them, undercover.
Because you don't want to do them up and then...
Well, the problem we've got, we spend lots of time, money, energy doing them all up and stand them back out in the open again. And they start to deteriorate straight away.
Well, the best of luck with the campaign.
Thank you very much.
I hope you get the money you need.
Thank you.
And thank you for showing me around today.
That's quite all right.
It's been brilliant.
Jolly good. Thank you.
The Bluebell Railway and Preservation Society has been operating this heritage line for over 50 years, and with the passion and dedication of volunteers like Mick, thankfully it seems there's a little sign of it running out of steam.
Ben and Kim were in total agreement about the Mystery House, but that hasn't necessarily been the case with all the properties. On their budget, it is unrealistic to get everything on their wish list, so which one of them is willing to make the compromise? So, Kim and Ben, what are you both going to do next?
I'd like to go and have a second look at the chalet house, have a look around the neighbourhood, see what it's like, how close the neighbours really are, get a feel for it there, because I really love that house.
What about you, Ben?
I would like to go and have a second look at the wooden house ranch, because I really like that.
What are we going to do, really? Because you both like different houses. Kim, if you want to go back and look at the chalet, Ben, would you be willing to compromise on the neighbour issue? I know that's the reason you came into this process, but it is Kim's dream home.
I could see that Kim just loved that house. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I loved that house as well. And, yeah, maybe the neighbours are not going to be a problem, but we started back in April house hunting, and the number one priority was we would not have any neighbours. So I could make that compromise, and I wouldn't mind making that compromise, but I just feel as though it's not what we really both want.
I mean, it sounded like a no, the answer to my question, would you be wanting to make a compromise? It did sound like a no.
Yes, I was like a politician, wasn't I? The answer is a no.
Is it really a no?
It is really a no.
So therefore, there's no point Kim going back for a second viewing, is there?
I suppose not really, no.
How do you feel about that, Kim?
Disappointed?
Really?
Yes. And I can't really see me living in the ranch house.
The things that you didn't like about the house, I really feel you could change.
Thanks.
Unless you both really think that over time you can find something that is perfect inside for you and perfect outside for you in your budget. I mean, that's the crucial factor.
Yes. I actually do think that, you know, if we keep looking, we will find something that we both really like. I think that is the crux of the matter. We've both got to really love it.
So are you both okay about not going to see your favourite houses really again?
Yeah, you know, I think Kim's made a bigger sacrifice than I have, actually, because I think she loved that house more than I loved the wooden house.
So at least you know exactly what you're looking for. I feel I know exactly what you're looking for. It's the chalet house on the land of the ranch house, isn't
exactly,
it?
you've got it. Yes, exactly.
So you just need to go out and find that now.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you for taking me along on your search. It's been fun.
Well,